Thank you so much. And thanks to Pollux Journal, I have loved everything about it from the very first emails we exchanged to the beautiful colors it's in now. Periwinkle is one of my favorite colors in the world, and there it is, periwinkle and yellow. I've read most of the poems, but I'm going to go back and reread it now with all of your wonderful voices in my head. And whatever we say about the pandemic, one thing it has given us are these wonderful Zoom readings. When could all of us have been in the same place together? I hate to drive. So for me, this has been the best part of the pandemic is readings with wonderful faces and wonderful people all over the world. Thank you for that. I'm going to read two poems today, both having to do just with expressions, both in English and Spanish. When I started teaching at the University in Nicaragua in the 90s, I was just blown away because I had learned Spanish in Spain in this is how old I am, 70s. And I mean, and Elizabeth, you talk about the market. The market in Nicaragua, I would be going in and asking for Spanish food, and they were calling them all by English names, and we couldn't understand each other, even though it was Spanish. So, but then I had this doctor, he's very young, but he uses expressions that my parents used. And my parents were raised in the 30s, and nobody today uses those expressions. So I thought about, wow, expressions from country to country, language to language, time and place. It's just amazing. And the poem's called Expresiones. My eye doctor said my cataract takes the cake. Harkening back to my mother's talk, she said, "Oh, kid, oh, you kid." And later, my older cousins, Dig and Daddy-O, which I repeated dressed as a beatnik for Halloween. Speaking Spanish, I still describe a baby as maja, as old women did in Spain in the 70s. But Nicaraguan parents today look stunned, they'd say brava, maybe, not maja. So living there at first, I was jodida. Food, too. The nacatamal and gallo pinto taste the same everywhere. But cookies, alfajores have molasses and maize in Managua, not Argentina's dulce de leche. And polvorones there, those big circles of dark sugar, are not little white wedding cakes. Back in Ohio, I say Nicaragua in English, but there I say Nicaragua and Nueva York because language is so fluid, and I sure don't want to be left on the wrong side of a bowl of mondongo, which in Mexico would be menudo, and back home it's all tripe. I see all this more clearly now that my doctor has taken my cataract, which was taking the cake. It took in mondongo, polvorones too, and in the Messiah market, the sign that said grapefruit for what in Spain we called toronja. And thanks. And my second poem is, and last, is just one expression that I learned in Nicaragua. I don't know if it's in other Latin American countries at all, but I love it. It would translate to, we all make mistakes. But the title is the translation, and I give the Nicaraguan in the poem. And the poem is really about the expression, so I don't need to explain it. The title is, Even the Best Monkey Has Dropped a Sapote. My friend's hands are large, but not generous, or at least they weren't then. Now he lives with a jealous woman, so maybe his hands open oftener. There's a saying in Nicaragua, al mejor mono se le cayó el zapote. Even the best monkey drops a zapote. And I asked him in a dream if I were the one he dropped. Zapote, I repeated. It's a scarce wild fruit, rounder, darker, and smaller than a mango. Inside, it's yam-colored, tastes like a custard apple. He looked up, as though for the first time. Yes, he said, I'd like to try one once. Thanks, this is such fun.